All right, here he is, the man, Tim Ripper Owens. What's going on?
How are you, buddy? Good to see you, man.
Yeah, likewise. It's been a while.
It has been a while.
I want to start by saying that the new EP, Return to Death Row, is just absolutely fantastic, and the reception seems to be through the roof as well.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I really like it, and it was a long time coming, but yeah, it's getting really good reviews, so that's pretty cool.
You have said that Jamey Jasta, who produced it, which, by the way, he's such a fantastic guy and so humble. It was funny. I was at Warped Tour one year, and I ran into him back by the buses, and he comes up to me and he goes, "Hey, man, I'm Jamey." And I'm like, "Dude, I know who you are." Anyways,
yeah, right.
You said that he's been asking you to do this for like around a decade or so, but what took so long? What was the holdup?
I think just timing and other things going on and this and that. And, then finally the last interview we did, I think we were promoting KK's Priest, probably promoting that record last year. And that's when he said, "Hey, at least then, or maybe after, I'm not sure, but he's like, "Hey, we should do that." And then probably about 6 months later, we decided to do it, so it was, I think it was just the timing and, it all was going to work out. We knew.
Well, and there's a full length coming, and the plan is to release that this year, 2023, right around the 25th anniversary of Jugulator. Is that right?
Well, I think Jugulator might have been 25th anniversary this year.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, I think because it came out in 97. Anyways, yeah, that is the plan. I'll be really busy with KK's Priest stuff as well, so I'm going to have to juggle both. But so see if I can record the new EP and see if I can get it done. But yeah, we're going to start working on that and get it going. That's definitely going to be releasing a 10-song record.
But the process of recording that hasn't even started yet.
I think they start writing songs and working on stuff, and they'll probably start sending it to me soon. Hopefully it'll start happening before I get swamped with KK's Priest.
Sure. This is also the 30th anniversary of Winterbane's Heart of a Killer record. Is there any plans to do anything special for that this year?
Probably not. No, it was a long time ago, and it was a great record and everything, but I doubt that there's going to be anything done with it. I don't even know who owns the rights to it anymore. It's, a long time ago, so who knows what's going on. So, but it's pretty cool. I can't believe it's been 30 years. That's just crazy.
Was there ever any talk, like after you left Iced Earth, which I think was in 2007 or something, was there ever any talks of reuniting with those guys?
We had mentioned about maybe redoing a record, maybe doing a prequel to Heart of a Killer or something. But, at that time, we just didn't get enough interest from the labels. You would work with the labels at that time, and there really wasn't enough interest for me to do it, financially and everything. I was like, yeah, it's not, I'm not into doing things just for fun. I gotta make a living doing music. So
sure.
At that time, there really wasn't any interest.
Obviously, you mentioned you're working on the second record with KK, the follow-up to 2021's fantastic Sermons of the Sinner. But you guys didn't get a chance to tour on that record because of the pandemic, right? So KK was just like, screw it, let's just do another record. Yeah,
it was really with that, and the timing of it ended up. Oh, there it went. I knew it was going to go eventually. The timing ended up just not working out,
Sure.
And I think that was the issue. And now, yeah, he said, let's do another record. Let's just do it. So we. Oh, you know what? I got a freaking holder right here. If I just broke it. Yeah. Okay. I'm batting 0. Now I can't even see you.
Yeah. There we go. Now I can see you again.
Yeah. All my stuff's I don't have any of my stuff in here, and it's all a pain in the ass. Yeah, but yeah. So we started working on it. Now it's in the mixing process, and it's finished, and it's great. It's great stuff.
Well, and I think that's great because now when you guys go out and tour, there's going to be more music for everyone to hear and more options for the set list.
Yeah. That's the key, really. 2 records, and we'll be able to get out there and do it.
Well, I know you were playing Hellfire Thunderbolt, I believe, on some solo dates that you did last year. But these upcoming dates this year, these are going to be the first time that you guys have played any of the KK's Priest live, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So it's pretty exciting. I mean, it's we're really looking forward to doing it for sure. We can't wait to do it, and such great songs, and they're going to be great live. So it's going to be a good time.
Is there any sort of timeline for the release? I know you guys are doing Alcatraz open air in Belgium. Do you think that the record's going to be out in time for that?
Yeah, I'm certain. I mean, I know they're working hard on mixing it right now and getting it done. So I know he wants to get it out as soon as possible, really.
So with KK, do you write any of the lyrics or the vocal melodies, or does he just kind of send you stuff over what he wants to do and you just take it and run with it?
Well, he's really running with it. I think he has a lot to prove, and he loves, it's his first time he's able to do something like this, really all his own. So, and I understand it. So I step back and let him do his thing.
I know you said before that generally, you like to write lyrics to the music, but I'm sure occasionally things just pop off in your mind. And with all these different projects that you have, when you write something, how do you decide, which project it works the best with?
It just comes out. When you write stuff, you get the song and you get your ideas rolling, and it just kind of I go from the beginning of the song and start writing. So it's kind of that's kind of how I do it.
When you guys end up touring later this year with 2 records worth of material, is there going to be any Priest songs in the set, or do you feel like it's one of those things where you have to throw in a few classics to please everyone, or the focus is going to be just on the new music and kind of leave the past to the past?
Well, I mean, listen, Ken wrote the songs in the past, so I mean, he's going to want to play a couple. We're definitely going to play some songs off of Jugulator and songs off of Demolition, and we'll throw some classics in there as well. I would imagine. I'm not certain, but it's going to be a fun set list. We got to please the fans.
Sure. And I did want to ask, how did you wind up being a part of this? I mean, I know when you left Priest, you guys were all on good terms, and obviously he's been out of the band for a while. I guess over a decade at this point, but. Is this something that you guys had been talking about for many years, or was it just he just kind of reached out to you one day and said, "Hey, let's do something"?
Well, I did that quick show. David Ellison was playing his Ken's club venue there, and they asked me to come sing, and we got AJ on guitar, and Tony was our bass player, was actually doing sound, and it really came together then. And then I think a month later, he was like, you know what, let's do a record. So that kind of got him, when we were on stage, it kind of got him going and thinking, let's do something.
Wow, no kidding. Well, the record's fantastic. I'm, along with everyone else, very excited for the new one for sure.
Thank you.
I know you've probably been asked this a million times over the last few months, so just get into it real quick, but I would imagine it had to feel like a bit of a slap in the face when Judas Priest gets inducted to the Rock Hall and sort of disregards, you and your history. And personally, I feel like Jugulator and Demolition are integral parts of the band's history. And I don't know what the policy is. You have to be a member of the band for so long or whatever.
There's no policy. There's no policy.
Okay.
And there's no policies that they couldn't have said my name on stage and thanked me for my time in Judas Priest. But the biggest question is, how come Foreigner's not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? That's the biggest question.
Well, I just, I feel that anyone that has made any sort of like notable contribution to the band should get included. And, I think it would be one thing if maybe, you were just like a replacement singer and didn't do any records or anything. But that's, obviously not the case. When you first heard that they were nominated, was there any sort of speculation that you might be included in that if they were to win, or did you know right off the rip that wasn't the case?
I didn't know, but I know how their management rolls, so I knew I probably wouldn't even been a whisper. But it's really not even worth my time to talk about anymore. I mean, I got better things to talk about, like KK's Priest and the solo records. I mean. That is what it is. It's in the past now, so you move on and do other things.
Sure. Well, before we move on from Priest totally, I did a video a while back called "Before They Were Steel Panther," and I kind of talked about the past projects that those guys were in prior to Steel Panther forming. And I, of course, mentioned that the singer, Michael Starr, or Ralph, whatever you want to call him, he's in that movie Rockstar in the audition scene when Mark Wahlberg goes into audition. I know you've said many, many times you have some mixed feelings on the movie. I think there were some things pertaining to you that were fairly accurate, like obviously the overarching story and being in a church choir. But I would imagine that at that time, when you had newly found success, a movie coming out that's essentially based on you with Mark Wahlberg and Jennifer Aniston, it had to be a pretty wild feeling, knowing that in some capacity you solely alone are responsible for the movie.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. Yeah, just from a New York Times article, that's where they bought the rights to the movie, and it was pretty cool. I mean, they wanted to make it. The guys in Judas Priest didn't like, and management didn't like how they were portraying everybody, so that's why we pulled away. We were going to have music in it and everything, and didn't want nothing to do with it. And Warner Brothers was like, all right, sure, So that's why it became more inaccurate. And they just, just so they didn't have to pay us, they'd change things enough that it didn't have to be totally accurate. But it was really cool. It was great that they got the idea based on me.
How far along was the movie before they decided to pull away from it? And was there any original music recorded for it, or was there going to be any appearances from you or the rest of the guys?
I don't think there's going to be any appearances, but there's going to be music. We didn't start any music or do any music, so it was pretty early on when they decided that they didn't like the idea of it.
Was it like a one specific thing, or were they just becoming generally unhappy with how things were progressing with it?
Unhappy, and they could have no kind of creativity in the movie. They asked if they could have some say, and Warner Brothers was like, "No, you can't have any say. It's our movie." So,
were you guys even invited to the premiere? I'm sure there was some bad blood after ending the relationship, but
no. And that was around. It came out pretty close to 9/11, so everything pretty much halted, anyways.
Oh yeah, I think it was like that week or something. I do remember hearing that. Wow. Well, I do want to ask too, real quick. Obviously, it's been told a million times, and it's the storyline and everything. But outside of the plot, is there anything else in the movie that was pretty accurate to you? I mean, I highly doubt. When Priest first contacted you, it was probably through their management or something, right? Not somebody calling you on the phone and you don't believe it and hang up.
Yeah, that was true.
Oh, was it really? No kidding.
Yeah, his girls called me and said you got to call the management and here's the number. And yeah, that was true. And I hit the first line of the song and got the gig. And the one guy in the band, they had one guy in Priest that pretty much ran the show. And in the movie, they had one guy in the band that pretty much ran the show. So, I mean, there was some similarities, but then it just went off in its own thing. And plus they made it like in the 80s when people were packing arenas. And I was in the band in 90, it happened in 97, 98 when metal was non-existent,
Sure. Yeah. You guys were probably playing theaters, like House of Blues and things like that.
Yeah.
Another thing I want to talk about are the two restaurant and venues that you had in Akron. The second, of course, was famously on Bar Rescue, which I want to get into that in a moment. But I have had, seriously, some of the greatest moments of my life, certainly my late teenage years and early 20s at your two spots, and mostly the Rock House. I was a little older at that time. But I miss it like crazy because around here, there's nothing else like it. And I don't think there ever will be. It was it was just a wild thing.
Yeah, it was great times, and unfortunately we had to sell it just because we were so busy. Mike and I were so busy, and I had to get out and tour. I mean, that's how I did it. So having a restaurant and doing that just wasn't gonna work out. But it was fun times, and a lot of people miss it, and I do myself. And but it's you have to do other things.
How did you, even owning a restaurant, come about? Was it something you'd wanted to do for a long time, or did it just sort of fall onto your lap?
It just fell into my lap. I think originally, I did the first one, and it just kind of happened. They asked me to be involved with it, put my name on the sign, and it's kind of moved forward and got more involved, and it just went on. It was fun to do, but it's just something that just kind of happened.
What happened from the original, the Tap House to the Rock House? Was there anything what caused the location and the name change?
Well, the Tap House couldn't sign a new lease. They didn't want to do a new lease. So that just closed and that was pretty much it with that. It was a really expensive lease and it just wasn't a great building. And then Micah said, let's open one up, let's do another one. So that's how the Rock House started.
Notably, of course, as I mentioned, John Taffer and Bar Rescue came in to quote unquote help, turn the Rock House around. And I had heard the story, when that whole thing first came about, but how does that even work? I would assume someone who works at the place or somebody involved with it submits to be on the show, or did they contact
listen,
you?
We had nothing to do with it. We had nothing to do with it. They called us out of the blue and said, hey, we're going to be doing something in Ohio. Do you guys want to do it? Obviously, because my name's on the building. So it gave them a little, because our restaurant didn't need them. Our venue didn't need them at the time. So, it's a fake show. They come in, they make you shoot things 5 or 6 times. And, it's all kind of made up kind of stuff, but, they did great changes. I thought the venue was, they kept the music the same, made the stage even better. And, it was nice changes, and it really helped us at the time, but it's just something that we had to stop. But yeah, it was cool to do it.
They when that whole thing happened, they got rid of the World Tour of Wings, though, right?
No, it was still there.
No,
they made it even better. Yeah,
I thought because originally I thought you had like 36 flavors, and then
still
wings.
Did.
Oh,
still
no
had
kidding.
the same. They didn't change anything. This flavor, the wings, the 36 flavors, the World Tour of Wings, and it was all the same.
So it was mostly just like physical changes in the interior, and then obviously it went from Ripper's Rock House to Tim Owens Traveler's Tavern, right?
Yep.
Would you ever consider being a part of another restaurant or venue, or are you kind of done with that and moved on?
Moved on. Just could do my music.
Sure. One of the last things I want to ask you about, we don't need to get too deep into it, but obviously the 2-year anniversary of this was just a few days ago, but were you surprised at all to hear about your former bandmate, John Schaffer from Meister, being at the Capitol for the riots?
Yeah, I was. I mean, I'm not friends with John, and we had a falling out, 15 years ago, whatever it was. But I mean, listen, people do things and they regret it, and that's what he did. He's going to regret it. And I mean, it's I have nothing to do with John, or so it was surprising though.
Sure. Well, outside of the new solo stuff and KK's Priest, what else do you have going on? Obviously, you do.
Well, I did just release a record with Pyramid, my second one with Pyramid, progressive metal. So that one's out there, and there's all kinds of stuff out there. They can just go to my all my pages on social media and check me out.
Anything new coming at all this year with Three Tremors?
I don't think so, but we'll see. You never know with Sean. We don't ever know what's happening.